Hey gang, it's Scott Weller here. We're doing a little bit later today because I had a meeting early. So for those of you who don't know, I actually took a job with Stability AI as a QA lead. So I will be doing a lot more stuff with Dream Studio and Stable Diffusion in general on this channel as that whole thing evolves. I'm really excited about that. And that doesn't change the state of this channel in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I think it improves it because you're going to see a lot more stuff coming from me, all related to that whole industry in AI art, as well as photography and so on, because the whole visual imagery part of this, it's not going to change for me. So I have actually have a high school senior session tonight. So none of that has changed, but it does make this more interesting or more compelling. It does also alter a bit of my time frame. So I got to figure out what times do these live streams better. I have a pretty large European audience as well, and they're probably all asleep right now. So, hey, Eric, thank you for supporting the channel. So Eric just chatted in the through the chat there. So we're gonna do something a little bit different today. So my original thought was to do kind of my weekly AI, kind of drill down into whatever the challenge is and experiment with prompts. But to my knowledge, they didn't come up with a prompt for this week or what their challenge topic is going to be. So I'm going to cover a couple things that I saw in comments that popped up that I think would be a good interest to people. The first one is how to sell your stuff. And I'm going to do a separate video that's kind of be almost the Cliff's Notes version of what we're going to talk about today. So it'll be a smaller video that will cover what we're going to talk about. But since you're here for the long run, you get the big one. This video will eventually move into the member only area along with a bunch of other ones. So thank you for the support of the channel, everybody. But this is going to be obviously public for now, and you're here. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how to run this thing, the Stable Diffusion, if your potato is a computer, right? Or your computer is a potato. You don't have the video RAM, you get a video card that's not worth it. You're trying to run an older Mac, things like this that are problematic, and you want to be able to get out there and do this stuff for free using the automatic 1111 installation. Oh, I turned my phone off. Or other Stable Diffusion installations like that, where you don't really feel like you want to pay for the bleeding edge. And I actually have accounts on pretty much everything. I use DALL-E, I use MidJourney, and of course I use Dream Studio, and then I also use the local installation as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that because it's a problem for a lot of people. I happen to be lucky. I bought a machine. Now let's talk about that briefly. If you're looking to get into this whole thing and buy a big video card, I bought mine off of Newegg, Newegg.com. Not because I can't. I've built my own PC numerous times throughout my life, and you save like maybe $50 to $100 by buying all the components individually, but then you take all the time to assemble them, which might be fun. I kind of get to the point where I just want it done, I just want it handled. And then there's no warranty on that because you built it. So for an extra $100, it comes pre-assembled. It's already built. You just plug it in and go, and then you have a warranty with it. So I've been doing that last couple of PCs. I'm very happy. So I got this one off Newegg. It had a 3080 NVIDIA card in it already. I bought it on Black Friday 2 years ago. So I've actually had a 3080 for a long time, and I felt really lucky that I had just stumbled across it. I think about the last one of those pre-assembled units. So even when video cards got scarce, PCs with them pre-built were still available because people wanted them just for the Ethereum mining or crypto mining. And not so much for the video game part. I was doing a lot of Blender work at that time for clients, so it worked out really well. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about RunPod. Now, nobody sponsors this video, right? This is just me giving you advice on what I've done. I put a link in the description, by the way, so those links do support this channel. So if you're going to do it, use one of those anyway. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, sometimes they're actually a little cheaper. But let's talk about that. Let me throw this up here. We're going to come back to this, by the way, because we're going to come and talk about this a little bit. So what RunPod does is you basically just go to RunPod, the link again down below, and then you pick the machine that's currently available. And so like here's an A5000 with 24 gigabytes of video RAM. It's 23 cents an hour. It is 23 cents an hour. It's a lot of time for a buck. So if you're doing 10 hours of generating random images while you sleep, it's still a couple bucks. It's not very much money versus say spending $800 or more on what's a 24 gigabyte video card go for. That's a couple grand at least. So I think this is like a really amazing service. And again, it's one I use. They don't sponsor this video or anything. It's just one I use because you just go and you pick. Now they also have other ones that are available. If you have a 3090 card, you can actually sell time on your machine to others who are using RunPod. I don't want to get into all that. I want to be able to use my machine when I want to. But the cool thing about this is you see at the top we have the template of the Stable Diffusion installation of Automatic 1111. It's done. All you have to do is launch one of these things and it will install it for you. So you don't have to worry about installing it and getting it all configured and dealing with it. You just click select and it launches and that's it. Then you can go and you can generate your images and whatever. Again, 23 cents an hour or whatever for using these things. So I think this is great. I'm sure there are other services like this, but this is the one that I got into and I've been very happy with it. I mean, it works flawlessly every time. So I have no complaints. And you could do it for training custom models or things like that as well. I mean, it's all up to you. The other thing I want to talk about is selling your art. So let's start here because this is a more generic topic. So I put up an Etsy store and I put a link in the chat for those of you who are interested. Not like you're going to buy my art, but let's talk about it. So what this is a link to another service, which I also put a link to down below called Printful. And I put that link there. What you do is you configure your art there. You upload your art, get everything the way you want it, and then it talks seamlessly to Etsy or, I mean, a whole bunch of services, but it's the primary service provider. So think of it this way. Someone goes to Etsy and they buy a print of your stuff. You don't want to get it printed somewhere and then have to package it up and then have to ship it to them because we all know that's not going to happen. At least not to me. I'm too lazy. So things get ripped up in the mail or I just don't have time to do it. It's all handled by them. So someone will check out, buy this product from them. They'll print it on demand and ship it to the customer. I'll receive my cut of the profit. And yeah, it's not as much as if I would have printed it myself, but then well, it's over there. I'm pointing at it. I have a giant printer in my office here. It's 1,000. I can't remember the thing, but it'll print like a 27 by infinite number, length printer. I can't remember what it even called. I'm not worried about it. It's a Canon, but the ink cartridges are a little over $600 for that thing. When you turn it on, it goes through and wipes all the cartridges down and sends a bunch of your ink into a tank that is the waste tank, which you have to pay for a new one when it's full, which is extra infuriating. And so every time you turn it on, it does this whole thing. So you're better off leaving it off, turning it on, printing a whole bunch of stuff and turning it off, which I don't want to have to deal with. And I should probably sell that printer. I haven't turned it on in like 6 months. It's so much easier to use a service like this. Now, this is not a gallery level service. So if you're thinking about hanging stuff in a gallery, for example, for sale, and so let's talk about gallery sales briefly. I did talk about it in another live stream at the end of one, if you ever watched to the very end, where I hang things in a gallery. So I have 3 or 4 different galleries that carry my stuff, 2 of which survived COVID. The 3rd one did not, but I'm trying to reach out and fill that vacancy. So what that means when you hang things in a gallery is you have these amazing pieces of art that you've made, right, through one way or another, through AI or yourself or a combination thereof, and you want to hang that in a gallery. So realize that a gallery takes 30 to 50% of the sale. That's how galleries stay open. That's why they can serve champagne and wine and look all clean and smell nice, is because they're paying for that space and those amazing people and those cleaning people and all the lights and ambiance, all that adds up. So they take 30 to 50% of whatever it is that you're selling. So let's say, for example, you have this piece printed here, and this is going to cost me, let's say it cost me $25. So I'm going to make $7 on this sale. Okay, that's pretty harsh, but let's say put this in a gallery situation. So if you sell this at $35 in a gallery, the gallery gets half of that right away. And how much did it cost you to print it? Well, we already talked about that, right? So you're already down like $10. You're negative $10 for your work. So you can't do that. Plus, again, this is small. Like I want to print it big. I like mine 24 by 36. I like very large prints. This is not very large, but I like them large. Some of my work in the galleries are 30 by 40. But then I also have some small ones too. You basically have to figure out what your clientele or your collector wants. Some people don't have huge walls in their house that are vacant. Some people have a lot of big vacant walls. The other thing to be aware of is you are probably not your target customer. So if you go into a gallery, are you making enough that you're happy and you can afford some things in life and some toys, but you're looking into painting going, well, I'm not going to spend $15,000 on a painting. That's outrageous. And I'm not going to sell mine for that either because I would never pay that. You are not your target customer. So think about your collector, the person you're trying to attract. Are they driving, they're a member of a Lamborghini club in their local city, right? You're not, but that's okay. They like your art. They want to buy it. So price your stuff at where you feel it's appropriate for the level of skill it's at. So if you're using MidJourney stuff and you're just generating it and it's all MidJourney and it's fine and it looks good, but it's got that MidJourney crunchiness to it, realize that you're also now in competition with all the other people that are trying to print their MidJourney stuff and sell it out. So you got to try and up your game. One of the main ways to do that is to use a real print house. So I use HH Color Lab. They're out of Kansas City. That's a gallery level printer. So it's more expensive than this, but what you get is really nice. So I'm not going to use that for standard customer fulfillment. I'm going to use that when I hang things in a gallery. But again, realize when I'm in a gallery, I'm selling it for $2,500 to $5,500. Again, you take half and then subtract your printing costs out. And if this is what you do for a living, can you get by selling one piece of art a month? Let's say you're going to make $2,000 a month selling your art. Yeah, that's not a lot. So you have to kind of be strategic about pricing. The thing that people get wrong about pricing, even, especially in the photography industry, is the race to the bottom. You think if I sell myself cheaper, I'll get more customers. This is horribly incorrect, and it's wrong in pretty much every industry. Let's talk about the fact, I want to paint your car. You want your car painted, and you can go to the store and you can buy paint. So you can do it yourself, right? How much skill can it be to paint a car? You just got to tape off some of the shiny stuff and just spray it on there, right? No, we all know it's a lot more complicated than that, especially if you want it to look nice when it's done. There's skill, there's time, there's training, there's better equipment, there's better paint. So when you're going out to have your car painted by a professional and you're looking and you're saying, well, that guy wants $5,000 to paint my car, but the guy down the street says he'll do it for $50. Yeah. Does this ever appeal to somebody? Where you're like, I think I will pay somebody $50 to paint my car. What could go wrong? So the whole race to the bottom thing in any industry does a couple things. It makes you think that the person doesn't know what they're doing, because if you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be charging $50 for it. You would be charging an appropriate value for it. It also does not make me think that you know what you're doing, right? What you're going to get out of it, I think, is going to be crappy. A $50 paint job and a $5,000 paint job are not going to be equal, right? We know this going into it. So if you're trying to sell your piece of art in a gallery and your goal is to sell it as the cheapest piece of art in that gallery, do you think that's instilling into someone's mind, I think I'm going to collect all the stuff that this guy has to sell. How much has he sold? That's another good question. This is a really big one for NFT people. So these people are like, wow, NFTs, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm just going to put all this stuff up there and everyone's going to love it. And so they put it on OpenSea because that's free, right? It's delayed minting. You put it up there. You're like, oh, this is great. I'm going to upload, 30 or 40 pictures a day. Man, I'll just crank out the MidJourney stuff like awesome because I'm special. You're not special, right? You have to know this. You look at your stuff and you're like, well, it's MidJourney stuff. There's a lot of other MidJourney stuff. And there's some really fantastic MidJourney stuff, by the way. There's some fantastic Stable Diffusion stuff. There's some fantastic, probably, DALL-E stuff. I don't use DALL-E for much, so I can't really speak to that one. But you get what I'm saying. AI-generated art is plentiful. And because it's plentiful, it means that when you go into a gallery and you're trying to approach them or you're trying to hang things as NFTs, you're not alone, right? You've got a crowd of people. And everyone's like, hey, let's sell it for a half a Tezos. That's like, 70 cents? The race to the bottom game is on. And then it gets even weirder with sites like OpenSea, because delayed minting means it costs you nothing to mint something. So every kid, let's just take a kid, you got a 12-year-old kid who's cranking out stuff on his local installation of Stable Diffusion or MidJourney or whatever he's doing, and he's uploading, 5,000 pictures a day to that company, right? And they can. And now multiply that times every 12-year-old kid there is around the world, and you see why OpenSea is one of the largest NFT platforms. Now, you create a fantastic piece of art, something you absolutely love in every way. Do you think anyone will ever find it if you upload it to OpenSea? And the other problem we have is, who is on OpenSea? If you have your Lamborghini driving potential collector who wants your stuff, they're looking for a couple things. One is, are they a value buyer? Meaning they're looking for something that they can flip. And this is why this whole collectible ape thing and all that kind of stuff was just, I never got it. But it wasn't like fantastic art, but it was the flippability, the capability to earn with it. It wasn't like you looked at it and go, wow, this is like one of the best pieces of art I have ever seen. I don't think anybody said that, right? And it wasn't really made to be that. It was meant to be an investment, and you turn an investment and you flip it. The same thing can be done with other artwork. So say you love this piece of art here and you buy it, and then later on you're able to turn around and sell it for some more money. Yep, maybe. But did you buy it because you loved it? That's the other thing. So you either buy it because you think you're going to make money, or you buy it because you love it. If you love it and you think you can sell it for more money later, that's a wonderful investment. And that's why a lot of fine art goes for so much money, because it's able to be flipped repeatedly from owner to owner intentionally. And in some ways, almost illegally, right? It's a way to launder money. It's very weird. And I'm sure the NFT universe got into that too at some point. The other thing a collector is going to look for, and this is the thing that undoes almost everything, is availability. If you, like I have some dolls on foundation. So here are some of my dolls on foundation. So I made these creepy dolls and I put some out here, and we got to cover the nudity one today. And I did these dolls and I slightly animated them, and there are only like 5 of them available, and I sold half of them, right? The other half are still around, like this one sold. The other half are still around. Now, why don't I upload 10 of these dolls a day if people are buying them? The problem becomes almost, are you worth anything? So for example, you have 25,000 pieces of art up on OpenSea and you have never sold one of them. Do you think a collector who's looking at the A option of I can buy this and flip it for more later is going to look at that and go, this is a very well kept secret. I think this is amazing art and it's gonna sell for well later. I'm gonna buy one. You know, no, they're not. They're not gonna say that. They're gonna look at it and say, wow, this person has 10 or 20 images for sale, and maybe 2 or 3 have sold. Now you feel more confident buying it, thinking that its flippability may be better. Not that you are buying it for that reason, but if you love it and you think you can make money from it later, why would you not invest in it? So that's one of the big things that I think is different about this whole AI thing, is it has made it more attainable for people who consume art, which is all of us before, are now producers of art. And to the general population, this stuff is still magic, right? I mean, I'm sure you've run into people who don't know what AI art is, or will never know what AI art is, but yet there's still people who will buy art. So this is an opportunity for you to go and move some of the stuff that you've created. There's a whole other topic for, if that's right or that's wrong. That's not the topic of what we're doing here. I love creating art, and I've been creating art for years. Now the AI art thing kind of skips the sketching phase for me. And I can take something and I can continue to draw on it and paint on it and include photography and really bunch it up into something I'm really proud of that I've spent hours making. And I'm very, very proud of what I make. And then I sell it. And like this piece here we're talking about, this is a huge piece of art. This thing is gigantic. It's, I think it's 22,000 pixels on the long side. It's big, and there's a lot of detail going on in it. And I loved it. It got a whole lot. It got like a couple thousand likes. It like ran over really well. I haven't sold one yet because I just put it up. But I don't want to sit there and put up 4,500 pieces of art and then hope they sell. So I think the fact that for NFTs, the paying the minting fee, like Super Rare, Foundation, not so much Foundation anymore because they're kind of open to the public. It used to be invite only. And creating those little niches of spaces like that were good for collectors. So if a collector's looking to invest in art, they would go to a private auction and not one that's just a forest of random stuff. I mean, I look at OpenSea sometimes and I'm like, why did you bother uploading this? It's horrific, And then I see other stuff. I'm like, this is amazing, but I would never find it again. In fact, I think I've gone back to try and find something. There's just no way. It's too big. All right, so I'm reading comments here. Another strategy, sell very small works inexpensively, price to sell other artists below collectors, and very large one-to-one expensive works. Yes, that's another strategy, is you can try and kind of seed it, your lost leaders. You have some little tiny pieces, and then you have your big trophy pieces as well. Yep, that actually works very well. We do that with a little bar here in Milwaukee called Art Bar. So Art Bar has art on the walls. You can go in, you can just pay for it and leave with it. But every so often they have an art show where they have bigger pieces that are much more expensive. But the goal is that they're trying to get people to post art. And it's like a 2 or 3 year waiting list to get into the art on the wall list. I mean, it's just small spaces, but there's only so much wall. I think ideas like that are great. And I think this whole industry is going to shift substantially as we see things. Next one, how to get my job with stability. How do you like your job? Please tell. I thought these type of companies only hire top devs. Well, for your information, I've been in the IT industry for 30 years. So this is before I did this, before I was a photographer. I own my own IT company, and I worked for a lot of companies over the years as a AI architect. So, or not AI architect, a systems architect. So worked for Xerox and AAA and PNC Bank and Kennedy Space Center and Johnson Controls and all kinds of stuff. So photography was kind of like my, I don't want to do IT anymore kind of thing, just like relax and enjoy myself. And then they offered the job to me. They came and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And I was like, you know what? Actually, I really would. And this is a marriage of two industries I absolutely love. I love technology and I love art. So the two of them smashed together makes me really happy. And this is like my dream job. I mean, it's so much what I want to do every given day. It's just a new adventure. And some of the things they're talking about and what they're coming out with is going to be astounding. I cannot wait for what they're talking about to actually reach the public. It's going to be so cool. So that's pretty cool. And then I mean, the whole art industry is moving so quickly, but they have lots of positions open. So if you're interested and you think you've got the kahunas to be one of these people, these AI researchers and or Python coders and things like that, yeah, absolutely apply to stability.ai. They have lots of jobs that are open and they're always looking for people. But again, you're going to have a pretty good portfolio or be able to represent yourself pretty well. I've seen where they've given programming tasks to people to complete and they turned around and did it and hired because the person was able to just blow them away with what they did. So there's a lot of wiggle room in there, but a great company to work for. So if you've got the skills, absolutely apply. But anyway, so let's talk about this a little bit. So what I do is in the background here, Printful, again, link in the description, you upload your art, you set a price to it, or how much you want to make, and they tell you how much it's going to cost to print it, how much it's going to cost to ship it. And then now this is using Etsy, which I have an Etsy store for some laser, some feet for my laser cutter because they were horrible. And I decided to make some and they sold very well, which I didn't expect. This Etsy I really like because Etsy will help you move things yourself. They will take out advertising and so on to help move product that's moving well. So I'm very happy with that. The unexpected part of this, the expected part of this is that it would just move. It would just be happily moving. The unexpected part is you do have to do some of your own marketing, right? You have to go out there and push people toward it, post it on Facebook or other places that you would try and get some eyeballs on it. And hopefully, again, a collector would notice and go, oh, I really like this work. I'm going to buy it. Even limiting the editions of some of these and saying, maybe I'm only going to sell 10 of these. I think that's a really cool opportunity to, again, that scarcity or uniqueness makes the price go up, which is really neat. And why would you not want to benefit from that? Someone's asking, it's Etsy trustworthy because you heard mixed reviews in the site. Absolutely it's trustworthy. I mean, so far I have had nothing but positives to say about it. The Printful backend is pretty cool because it talks to a whole bunch of different services like Gumroad. I have a Gumroad account. I've had one for years and I use it. I sell hand painted textures. Every one of you who are memberships of this channel or members of this channel get a free texture every month from me. And those are all ones that I have painted by hand or digitally. And I've been giving those away. Well, I actually sell those as bundles on Etsy as well. So you're paying $5 a month to be a member of this channel. Those packages sell for upwards of $40. So thank you for your support for that. And there's a whole bunch of them in there, by the way. If you decide to help this channel through the join button down below, you get access to all the stuff I've already put up there. So for even 1 month, you get a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, those textures on Gumroad looked really promising for another space for me to sell my artwork. But Gumroad doesn't have the same level of API that Etsy does. Etsy is very well put together. They kind of thought through all the things that we're going to need to help us move our product. So I've been very happy with that. But anyway, so I think this is pretty cool. I'll probably make another video on strategy and so on. But you guys get the rundown. Use the link in the description. start uploading your work to Printful, and then hook it into Etsy or where you're going to go. I would do this over Redbubble, only because the examples I have from Redbubble, my daughters have printed stickers and pictures of Redbubble for years. They love it. But the quality of what we're getting out of there is not what I want to put on my wall. Like it feels very big boxy in the way that it's printed. I'm much happier with the Printful, the work that they're giving me. I like it a lot better. All right, so let's talk about the other thing I was going to talk about today, and that's a RunPod. So if you just go to runpod.com, again, link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so it does help the channel, and I appreciate that. What you basically do is you pick the GPU you want to use. So whatever we're doing, let's say we're not training this thing. We're just going to use it for some art we want to make. And we don't, again, we have a potato for a computer, and we don't want to spend $5,000 for a video card. That's fine. We'll just do this. So we got 16 gigabytes or 24 gigabytes. It's 23 or 18 cents. Or we can do the on-demand, which is the one that can't be interrupted, 50 cents an hour or 34 cents. Like this is good enough for me. Just select it, then hit continue. Now, you do want to make sure you have a Jupyter notebook here, because there are ways to use that, and then how much hard drive space you need, and just hit this. And then we have, again, the non-interruptible is 34 cents or 18 cents for the interruptible. So just deploy on demand. And then that's it. It's going to go ahead and create the space in the hard drive, release the GPU for you, and install the automatic 1111 install. I mean, it's done. So if you go to My Pods and you just wait for it, we just got to wait for this to pop up. That's it. I mean, that's really as hard as it is. So I know a lot of people get upset because they're like, well, I really wish I could run this on my laptop. Remember, this is a web-based product, so you can use it from a Chromebook. I mean, really, you could do it from any machine you've got laying around. Why would you not do that? We just got to wait for it to deploy. That's basically it. And it usually takes a minute. It hasn't been a long time. And even though I have a machine that is perfectly capable of doing this, sometimes I want to be able to do it a lot faster, or I want to be able to train something, or I want to make bigger images. So recently I've been making bigger images, say 1024 on the long edge and things like that. I can't do that on my local machine. Looks for 20 gig and I don't have it. I've got 10. So I can't do it. I might actually have 12, but it's the same thing. It's just not a lot. So we're just waiting on this thing to run. I know this was running a bit slower earlier today, and I assumed it had been kind of resolved, but it looks like it's still a little slow right now. So the actual getting the machine is taking a bit. And I may have actually just, maybe they weren't even available when I clicked on it. I don't know. This is a really horrible example right now, isn't it? Anyway. When it does come up, we'll click on it and we'll be able to launch it just like you would any other website, except it's the one you're running and you can go ahead and utilize it like you would. So it's going to have your automatic 1111 installation, and it'll have maybe not the most recent build, but a pretty darn close build. And this is what I'm using from this point forward when I'm doing this AI live stream, is I'm going to use this because it's a lot easier for me to just use this, because if I try and use this, and I'm trying to do my live stream locally, you guys are going to just get stutters the whole time. And you've seen a lot of art theft from Etsy, unauthorized selling of other artists' works for cheap. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. I guess you could not leave your home either. I mean, it's that whole thing. Yeah, it can happen. You know, I copyright my work. So you may think, well, you can't copyright AI artwork. You can copyright it if you have done a substantial amount of work to it yourself. So if it's 100% computer generated, yeah, you might have, there's a little bit of weirdness right now in the copyright law to say, is that really something you made? Is your prompt the reason it exists? You know, that's not really our place to decide that, as much as we would like to. That may or may not happen. This is not working out real well for me. Let's go back here. But, you know, see, I wonder if I grabbed one of these and it just wasn't happening. Let's just grab this one. And well, hopefully one of these will deploy and we'll check it out. But the thing is that if it's just a random piece of art and you haven't sold 2 or 3, do you think someone's going to take the time to steal it and then put it up for sale for cheap again? I mean, I get it if it's the Mona Lisa, which I've seen people do. You can take the Mona Lisa down off of the Wikipedia page where it's a full-size version and then put it up for sale on here. I mean, that's completely possible. And I don't know, is that even illegal? because the copyright for that piece would have expired by now. So it really kind of is a work of public art. All right, so this one has deployed. So we can go down here and we have a couple options. We can connect to it and we can connect through the cloud storage. Now I'm going to drag this off of here just for a second because I know when I connect, it's going to hand me a, it's going to hand me that. Yeah, that was a great example. We got to wait for it to spin up here. It's not quite done spinning up. Yeah. Well, ain't going to matter anyway, so we'll just keep it over here. So this is going to spin up. Live is a little aggressive with trying to get to it right away, but you see how much CPU utilization is going on right now. So it's still building and downloading the Git and getting everything all situated. I was trying to be smart and dragging off the screen. That didn't. But the thing is that I don't get overly protective about my art in that way. If I'm going to upload it somewhere to sell it, I'm not going to freak out about that somebody might try and download it and sell it again. They can do that even if I didn't have it for sale someplace, right? They could go to Facebook and download it, or Instagram. I've seen people sell other people's stuff up Instagram. So there's the whole, like, do we not post anything anywhere? Scott, is there any definitive amount of human editing that AI generated does legally permit copyright qualification? Again, a lot of that is not really determined yet, as far as I know. But I know that if you put effort into the piece and it's substantially, or the word substantially modified, I'm sure that some lawyer somewhere will define that at some point, then it's yours to copyright. The thing is, I copyright mine anyway. None of them have been rejected because maybe I generated part of them, but again, they're smashed together my photography, some stock art or photos I've owned or purchased, and then other AI art as well. So it's a combination of a bunch of things that I assembled. So I have copyrighted those and I haven't had a problem. So, and it's still not working. So something ain't right with the world today as far as the RunPod demonstration goes. Still running at maximum CPU here for a second. But the nice thing is that once this is running, you can then take this and you can park it. So you just hit stop and it will stop executing. And then when you come back to it later, all your files and stuff are here. Now you will pay monthly to hold that server's hard drive. I think it's like $6 or whatever. But again, you get all your custom models that you want up there. You get all your stuff the way you want it situated. Then you can do whatever. Okay, now the CPU dropped. Let's try and connect now. So there we go. And there we go. So here's your automatic 1111 running here, which obviously it's going to be going away in a minute. So if anybody's trying to break in, there you go. But this is available for us to use. And again, it's got all the capabilities for us to put extensions on here. So you have Dream Booth on here already. There's Deforum. And then we can go ahead and run any other extensions we'd like to. So there you go. But once you've got this configured the way that you want it, then all of your files and stuff are up here. So basically $6 a month, you've got this machine parked and ready to go, and you only pay for when you use it. Again, 20 to 30 cents an hour. That's a lot of hours and a lot of months of time to pay for what is a video card that by the time you get that video card paid for, brand new video cards will already be out that are 10 times as powerful. So I think I'm probably going to stick with this for most of my AI artwork. In truth, I use my 3080 locally more for Blender oriented stuff because I do a lot of 3D work as well. So the combination of these things, good. But anyway, so this is, there you go. So you are now able to run your automatic 1111 without worrying about that you've got a potato home. Now, the other thing in here that's really cool is the Jupyter Notebook is available. So if you're into AI and you want to learn more about AI art or AI creation, making your own Python stuff and doing things like that, that's what this is. Colab, which everybody, if you're into AI art, you know what a Colab is. Colab is based on Jupyter Notebook. So Colab is Google's implementation of Jupyter. So this is the exact same thing. So if you would like to learn Python or scripting for AI stuff, that's all done through here. But you can go to the terminals. One of the main things I do inside the terminal, because again, this all works, if we do a directory, we can see we have Stable Diffusion installed here local. And we see, so it's all ready to go. We can do a git pull, for example, just like we did in our local one. But now you see we are at the release that is current as of today of stable diffusion, automatic 1111 stable diffusion. It's ready to go. So you've got everything that you could ever want from this thing right here. So again, I'm pretty happy with this as a solution instead of spending money on the video card or whatever. But all the capabilities here. Now, if you want to put other prompts up here or other models up here, that's when you would go and you would use the notebook, because the notebook, you can access the hard drive and upload files, FTP files in and out and do all that kind of stuff. I'm going to stop this before the internet decides to log into that machine. And this machine is also running. So we're going to go ahead and turn that one. But now they'll sit in this state. And again, you pay monthly if you want to keep the hard drive. But let's say you're done, you got your information, you downloaded all the files that you made and you're happy, just delete it. And it's gone. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But the next time I went to 29 gig of RAM on this sucker, I might just keep this one because that's a pretty nice machine. And for 50 cents an hour, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I'll probably just leave it sitting there like that. But anyway, so that's what we got going on. Here's a question. So sorry, I was reading a lot here. But not all AI image start just as a prompt. It can be reproduced by anyone to get the exact result. Say basic human handmade sketch or image would be unique. Yes, that's true. So if you're starting from an image, a sketch, or another photo, and you're making it your own, then by definition, it isn't AI art, is it? So I would think that would be pretty darn safe. What was the next question? If you look over the terms of service agreement, that AI art service you're using, especially MJ and Stable Diffusion are pretty clear. I mean, MJ even says you own the art. It's yours. They have the rights to use it for marketing, but to get the exact same thing with pretty much any service you pay for. If you pay for an artistic service, they say, well, we have the rights to use any image you create for our marketing. Okay. That's fine with me. I mean, I'm using your service to do it. And if you're going to make me famous because you want to use one of my pictures, I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't care. There's a cost to that. Like a lot of people steal my artwork and use it on their phones. I love it. Use my image as the background on your phone. That honors me. I'm like, wow, of all the pictures you could have on the back of your phone, you're using mine. That's pretty darn cool. Now, if you want to print it and hang it on your wall, that's a little weirder. But if you're trying to sell it, yeah, then you're going to buy me a car because I'll sue you, right? I sue a lot of people, by the way. Like my art gets stolen a lot. I pay for another service called Image Rights, which I can't show. I don't know that I can actually. Let me make sure I can show this. All right, I can show this. So in here, they track all of my stuff that's stolen, and I've got pages and pages and pages and pages of them. Especially like this image here has been stolen. I don't even know how many times. I'm gonna drag this off the page again. Sorry, there's nudity on here. That's one of the reasons. I'm a boudoir photographer, right? And sometimes stuff gets stolen, which is just a dumb way the world works. Okay, so here's this picture here that has been stolen. And if we look at how many times it's been stolen, there are, how many pages are there? There are 9 pages, and you see how many there are per page. This is everything from everybody using it on their WordPress site to Instagram to whatever. But you see, I have a lot of these people I have sued if they're making money from my stuff. If you're just using it because you love it, that's fine with me. I actually think that's beautiful. Like, thank you. I'm honored. But if you're trying to make money from my stuff, yeah, that ain't gonna work out real well. But anyway, so that was my rant for today. I was gonna do, as I say, my typical AI art thing. By the way, if you liked this rant, can you click that like button? I know we've been chatting for a while here, and 9 of you like it. And I get the same thing. I forget to push the like button, but that's your way of internet clapping, right? Because otherwise, no one else is gonna know this video is worth watching. So I appreciate you guys clicking that button. Anyway, the idea here is that you can take and use RunPod. Again, a service like that, there is quite a few out there, but I like this one because they're giving me the template for the automatic 1111, and I don't have to figure it out. I just click go and it turns on. Go in there, generate my art, get something I absolutely love, take it into Photoshop, make it my own, right? Or as I said, as somebody had pointed out, who is it? Gypsy, I think, said to go ahead and start from one of your own photos or a sketch or something that is yours, and then build upon it. Well, obviously, then it is your piece of art, and then turn around and then perhaps sell it. So again, linked in the description for those services. Again, they help the channel out if you're going to do them anyway. Plus, I can help guide you. So the thing is that I want to make this more than just you guys watching the videos and whatever. I want to help you be successful at this stuff. Just like I've helped photographers build their business. And by the way, I travel a lot, so I'm speaking in a lot of different cities, and I'll try and make those announcements when I'm on here. I'm in Texas next, in Lubbock, actually, of all places. Then I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Nashville soon, and then Florida after that. So I have some times when I'll be traveling a bit, and I can kind of pass that on. But I want you all to be successful. I mean, there's not a huge bunch of you who are watching this thing, right? This is our little secret club of people who are going to dominate the art industry, right? Whether it's AI art or photography or whatever it is that you happen to be selling, I want to try and give you those keys, those tools to be successful at it, and not just another person who's trying and flailing and uploading everything they own, everything they've generated in MidJourney to OpenSea because they can. Let's not do that. Let's have a better strategy for it. So helping the channel out's a lot. I appreciate it a lot. And you guys have meant a lot to me. Again, we couldn't do it without you. We don't make a lot of money from YouTube. But I love doing this because you guys have been really cool. I've met some of you, by the way, which is pretty cool. Like I go to cities and I'll see some of you, which is really neat. And I don't know what you guys thought of the little laser video yesterday that was different. I still have the thing on my desk. Like I have to go out to the garage, but it's snowing here, right? We got snow today. So I don't want to go into the cold garage, but I know I've got to finish this Catan board and get that done. But my goal is to take, and I want to generate some laser cuttable designs with Stable Diffusion. And I want to try and make a physical piece of art using that as my point of departure. And I will specifically want to use Dream Studio probably as my point of departure. Some of the stuff that they're talking about doing there, some of the stuff they're doing as Stable Diffusion is amazing. And yes, we all get the free model that you can download and play with. But there's a reason that people pay for the Dream Studio service over just doing it locally. There's some really awesome magic there. And I'm really excited for that. As I said, it was a pretty cool opportunity, and I'm glad that they reached out. And again, they're still hiring people. So if you got some mad skills, step up, they're always looking for people, and product testers as well. So things, people, if you got some testing background, say I came from again, QA background. I've done QA for years, and everything from director level to, the guy who did the unit testing originally. I can do well at whatever, but I kind of got out of it because it was boring. But now it's like speaking to me. It's like, it's imagery, and not only just imagery, but some of the AI sound works at Harmony and stuff. I know they're doing a QA, an AMA to Imad on Reddit, I think today, and they're talking about Harmony and some of the stuff that they're doing with sound and AI, which is really exciting. And then protein folding and things like that. If you want to get really geeky, by the way. This is just me because I come from a science background. Like I was a physicist before this. If you go to fold.it, fold it, it's a game where you could do protein folding at home. And if you're like, why would you ever do this? It's relaxing, first of all. You can. So the idea behind we're going off the deep end with this channel right now for a second. So just give me a minute. So the idea here is that the electron microscope can show you kind of the silhouette of what a protein looks like. And we know what's in it, but we don't know how it's made up. That's really kind of how it boils down to, from DNA strands to whatever makes up that specific protein. And humans are really good at trying to tetraset stuff together and wiggle it and jiggle it and try and get it so it fits the silhouette in a low energy state. So that this is what it looks like. And then we can develop things that attach to or mutate or migrate or destroy that protein depending on what we're trying to do with it. So now part of what Stability AI is doing is coming up with AI-driven protein folding, which is super exciting. And there's like a bunch of that. I mean, talk about medicine getting AI at the forefront, I think is so exciting. So it's not just AI-generated art. It's all these other areas that Stability is into that are really exciting. And there's so much coming I know very little about because I just get, the Cliff Notes of those things. I have my own job to do there. But when I have a chance to when I have a chance to go ahead and look at what they're doing and kind of read a little bit of the notes, I get very excited about it. So I think the combinations of everything is great. Not that we're going to combine music, imagery, and protein folding, but the things that AI can do are pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing what brainstorms these people. A brilliant team of people there. So I'm honored to be amongst them. I'd say one of them, amongst them. Snuck in, kind of stay in the background. I clap when people say to clap. It's all good. Blend in. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. I actually have a high school senior session tonight. Old friend of mine, son has reached that age. Oh, wait, 2 seconds here. Sorry, I had to wait 5 minutes, something to chat. Oh, well, thank you. I just wanted to pop in and say that when it comes to the copyright here in the UK, the prompter gets full 50-year copyright currently. Well, very good to know. I appreciate you letting me know that. Yeah, and what's really cool is that the US, the UK, and then companies like Germany and Italy are extreme. Like in the United States, it may take 6 months to settle a copyright dispute to actually get paid. If that person's in Italy, it's like 3 weeks. It's so much more aggressive. Isn't DeepMind's AlphaFold already doing that? Yes, DeepMind has an AlphaFolding as well, but as does Stability. So again, the technologies, it's just like an art model, right? MidJourney has a way of doing art, and Stable Diffusion has a way of doing art. There's two different approaches. It's not like there's always one right answer. So I think that it's very cool that there's multiple ways to get at the same thing. Yeah, so they're already doing. In fact, I'm a Go player, so AlphaFold came from AlphaGo, and Go is a Pacific Rim kind of board game. It's about 3,000-year-old board game. I actually play every day. It's my lunchtime break from reality. I've played for 16 years or something like that. So it's kind of my thing. There are a lot of people here in Milwaukee that do it, so I almost always play online. But every so often I'll go somewhere and somebody will know the game and we'll be able to sit down and play, which is really cool. I want to go to Japan someday and play. That's like on my bucket list of things I want to do. Drink sake and just sit around and play Go for a while and call that a checkbox in my life. Everybody's got their weird little things. But hey, thanks for hanging with me today. This was again, it was a little off the deep end because I didn't have a topic for today, but these are AI related things that I wanted to cover. You know, how to sell your art, how to get it out there. Please use the links below. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, some of those times, those links actually contain a discount. In this case, I don't know if that's true. By the way, speaking of which, before I forget, 2 days ago, I think I posted a video on, I don't remember. Let me look. Where there's a $10,000 competition for Creative Fabrica. So let me find that real quick. Sorry. Was it? I think it was the AI art inspiration. That may have been it. I can't remember now. Anyway, so I'll put a link. I'll find a link and I'll put it in the description. I don't have it right now, but it is a couple days ago. Creative Fabrica is holding a competition right now with their Spark, which is based on Stable Diffusion, and DALL-E, actually. They have either one. And you can enter their competition, and it's 7 days, and how many people download your image, you can win $100,000. So it's, you're like, well, I don't want to upload art, and then someone's going to download it. Okay. I mean, but it's $100,000. Like, would you do it for $100,000? Well, I guess I'd let somebody download my art for $100,000. I guess I'd let them download it. But the idea is they're trying to drive this business. Eventually, this is, again, I don't know from them specifically, but eventually, I think what they're going to be doing is taking and allowing someone to upload their art, and then for people to purchase that art for use on their own projects. So say, for example, you make t-shirts and you have this great wolf theme thing you did in MidJourney, and so it's so stirring. I'm going to make a t-shirt out of that and sell it at my own Etsy store. I buy your design and I use it in my Etsy store. But to open that up so that a whole bunch of people can buy your amazing wolf design and put it on t-shirts, that's pretty cool. Again, scalability without you having to spend time sticking prints in an envelope or doing whatever, to have a bunch of artwork that you've created that people love and enjoy, go ahead and sell it like that. And I think that's where they're going with this. But right now they're getting their engine all going. Again, let me find that video link, because it'd be cool if you guys would use that. Yeah, here I found it. That was quick. That was way quicker than I thought it would be. There it is. Obviously that's an affiliate link as well. I don't really get anything for it, but it's helping them know that they should advertise on this channel, right? So it's motivating them to work with me more, which is good, because if they do this again, I'm hoping one of you walks away with this, like that you get in there and you won that $20,000 prize or something like that. That would be so cool. And I'm really hoping that through whatever I'm teaching on this channel, or, you know, guidance or whatever I can give you, that you're able to win that. Or anyway, I mean, I'm giving, I think, 40 or 50 prizes away, that Why would you not just enter that? Now, I will say this, you have to be a member of their team to do that, or their site to do that, which makes sense because we don't want to be open sea here, right? We don't want some kid to upload 25,000 pictures a day and then have all of his kids' friends vote on it, or to download it. So it's purposeful. So yes, but I've spent $9 in way dumber ways in my life for sure. So I'm going to come up with, I have a couple of that I want to enter, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use either Dream Studio or a Stable Diffusion local install, find the perfect prompt, get it about where I wanted to get it, and then try and reproduce that perfect thing using their system. And then win the internet, right? Win the whole internet. But anyway, that's what I got. I have to go and pack my camera bag because I have to trudge out into the snow and handle this high school senior tonight. So, but that's what I got for you guys today. And we're going to, next time, I think we're going to get a little more painterly. I have some ideas on some stuff I want to do painter wise with AI art. So we take the art as our point of departure and then go from there. I've been putting up a bunch of these pictures on social media, and I'm in, I think I put the links down below for Instagram and Twitter. If you're on there, I'm finding Twitter to be more satisfying to me right now than Instagram, just because I'm not in TikTok, and Instagram is just kind of a TikTok repeaty thing. So I don't really need that in my life. But if you're into Twitter at all, which I'm starting to really enjoy more, that's kind of what I'm using. But yeah, let me know what you think. Give me a comment below. I'd like to hear from you guys. Thanks everybody, by the way, for hanging out and interacting with me today. It's a less boring show when I'm sitting here just talking to myself, because I'm looking at a camera, right? I'm not looking at you in a camera, which is difficult to look at a camera for an hour. I think I can see my own reflection in this thing. So I appreciate the fact that I can look over and see chat, and it would be really cool to actually have some interaction with you. So I think we might actually at some point do some collaborations where we get on here together and we work together and we can talk and chat. I did that with Galia. So Galia is our #1 channel supporter. She's the channel goddess. So she is the #1 channel member, and I've had her on the show before, and we'll probably do that again. I miss her. I haven't talked to her in a while, but I know she's been super busy, but I think her slow season is about to start. So we'll see if we can get her back on, because she's got some great stuff that she's done as well. So, all right, everybody, take care, stay safe, and I will catch you all next time. I find the end stream button here somewhere.